Wakizashi's Tea House. Konnichiwa, minasan, it's Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House over in Japan. How you doing? Are you good? Are you genki? I'm good today, thanks. Okay, I want to share with you my review of I Am Batman, issue 7. And this came out today, it's Tuesday, March the 8th. It was written by John Ridley with art by Christian Duce or Duthe. Not sure how you pronounce that, sorry mate. Okay, now I'm going to give a bit of background to this review first, so just bear with me. I'm going to read from a WordPress review that I'm working on at the moment. So for those of you who don't know, this is a series which has Lucius Fox's son, Tim, Jace Fox, as a black Batman who took the mantle during the Future State story event in 2021. Batman was missing, presumed dead, when Jace decided to become the next Batman. The character made his debut last year in a 4-issue miniseries, which was also written by John Ridley. I read the first issue, but it didn't draw me in. I guess it must have sold well enough to merit this new series. Now, you might have heard of Luke Fox, who's Jace's older brother. He became the character Batwing. So, I reviewed issue 1 of I Am Batman on my YouTube channel back in September last year. While the art by Olivier Coipel was very good, the story didn't interest me and I didn't continue with the series. Yet, here I am, 6 months later, writing or reading from a review of issue 7. What happened? I think it was watching the new Batman movie, which I absolutely loved, by the way, which got me all excited and tempted me to give the series another try. It was also the cover. Look at that art. Come on, what do you think? It stood out from all the new releases, well, from the DC new releases anyway. So, my thoughts on this issue. Well, this issue is a much better read than issue 1. It's part 2 of a new story arc titled Empire State of Mind, in which Jace Fox has moved from Gotham City to New York. He is targeting street-level criminals and he believes he can make a difference in the city. There's a quote from Jace here, who says, "This isn't Gotham craziness, it's just straight-up New York City." After the gruesome murder of a high-profile victim, the New York mayor has set up an experimental special crimes unit that the media is nicknaming Strike Force Bat. Mayor Villanueva wants the police to work with this Batman, a controversial decision that's ruffling a lot of feathers. Now, the series artist has changed yet again, with interior art by Christian Duth. I don't know the name, but I enjoyed his work in here. I also got pulled into the story. Like, Ridley's writing is much better, especially his character work. It was much better for me than issue 1. So yeah, I found it to be much improved, and I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the characters, the way they talk, apart from a couple of scenes which I'm going to go into in more detail in my story summary. So, surprisingly, this is a recommend from me. I say I'm jumping back into it in issue 7. I haven't read what's been going on for the last 5 issues. I saw a bit of issue 6, which is part 1 of this, and yeah, there's a very interesting new villain in it. He's a bit of a crazy killer. Not sure who he is yet, or she. Hasn't been revealed, but wait till you see it. It's quite dark, it's quite gruesome what you see inside. So yeah, keep watching. Here we go. The story opens with a press conference. Commissioner Beckett is being questioned about the murder of Devlin Rubel, which happened last issue. One of the reporters asks about Strike Force Bat, but the Commissioner denies it. Then somebody else asks, "Will we be getting updates from Batman?" The Commissioner walks out of the conference. "We're done here." Detectives Chubb and Whitaker meet up with Jace's Batman, and Chubb's describing the murder, saying it's one of the most graphic, brutal they've ever seen. Apparently the victim was mutilated and then murdered. "Batman, you gotta stop them." But he's not interested. He says he's not investigating the murder. They're surprised, like, "What? You're working for us now? You're being paid?" "Yeah, $1 honorarium." Then Jace's Batman goes on to say that he's focusing on the street crime, especially the victims of street crime. There's gang wars at the moment in the city. Detective Chubb blames Batman for attracting this kind of craziness, and he's like, "I just got here." And then Detective Whitaker appeals to him, and "Come on, we need your help. Only you, someone like you, can help us with this." So he relents and asks for any leads. Then we have Detective Chubb complaining that they're just like hired help. "What is it the media's calling us? Strike Force Bat." And Whitaker says, "Yeah, we've been called worse than that." And then she describes the other 2 members of the Strike Force. There's Mike Tanaka, 4 officer-involved shootings in the last 3 years. And Michonne Weller, who's apparently got a file full of complaints from HR, and they weren't filed by her, they were filed against her. Then on this next page, you'll get examples of writer John Ridley's good writing and also his not so good writing. Let me show you the examples. In the centre panel here, we've got Detective Chubb showing vulnerability, showing flaws. She's saying basically that she only got promoted because of the Joker War and it depleted the Gotham PD. As soon as they didn't need her, they got rid of her. And her partner, Detective Whitaker, who has only had her as a partner, he says, basically comes out with this line: "Yeah, but you're the best cop I've ever worked with. You're the leader we all will follow." It's like, come on, less of the tell, more of the show. Show her being a great cop. Show her being the leader. Don't just have your character saying that. Hey, but maybe I've missed it, in previous issues. But don't forget, this is only issue 7. Okay, let me skip ahead a few pages to this scene in Fox Tech Field Office, downtown Brooklyn. We've got Jace Fox and his friend and helper, Vol. Apparently he's a bit of a computer whiz kid, a computer hacker, and they've discovered that the head of security of the victim, a guy called Tyron Burrows, has basically just done a runner. So the finger of suspicion is pointing at him. Then Vol says he's got a hit on Burrows, and it's not from his phone, it's from an e-motorcycle which he's riding. So Jace says, put his location on a map, send it to me. But Vol's worried about him, saying, mate, you got to be careful. And Jace replies, come on, this isn't Gotham City. This ain't no Scarecrow or Killer Croc. This isn't Gotham craziness. It's just straight up New York City. I'll skip ahead again to a great action scene where you've got Jace's Batman on his motorbike. He's tracking Burrows. Burrows sees him in his rearview mirror. Oh no! Jace uses one of his weapons to stop the bike. Wham! Burrows is furious and tries to hit him with his helmet. Woof! Jace easily dodges out of the way and knocks him flying with a huge punch. Bam! Okay man, I give. Jace accuses him of murder, but he denies it. I didn't touch him. So why did you run? Because they were coming after him. I didn't want to get caught up in the mess. And Jace is asking, who's they and what's the mess? Then Burrows says that Rubel, the victim, was into some kind of crazy sick shit. All I could do was run. Jace doesn't believe him. I'll be back if you find out you're lying. Back at the Fox Tech office, Vol has managed to find out some of the creepy shit that the victim was into. He's talking about trafficking minors. And he also reveals that the information wasn't there before, it's only been uploaded in the last few hours. And then we see an after-hours meeting between Commissioner Beckett and the Deputy Mayor. There's a great line by Beckett because, he can't stand this Batman. He's like, what, the part that includes some crazy black kid in the Bat costume trying to solve crimes with his Kumbaya squad? And then we see Jace's Batman, he's tracking down the site of the uploads. It looks like an abandoned warehouse or an abandoned apartment. Breaks in, and then he sees this weird room full of art. Well, bizarre art. Is it art? It looks like mutilated bodies being painted. And that's where I'm going to end this issue. So how about you? What did you think of the issue? What do you think of the story? How about the art? Does it impress you? Are you reading the series? I'd love to hear, so please drop a comment if you are. Okay, as always, thank you so much for watching. This is Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House, signing off for the night. Matane. Wakizashi's Tea House. Please subscribe.